This is Damon Foster. Damon never had a place to call home. He was shuffled through the foster system. He grew up in houses where love was conditional, discipline was cruel, and trust was shattered before it could even form. By the time he aged out of the system, Damon was hardened, angry, and convinced that love was nothing more than a lie people told themselves to feel less alone. Then he met Liana. She was everything he wasn't: kind, patient, hopeful. She saw something in him that he couldn't see in himself. Liana loved Damon with a depth that terrified him. It wasn't long before her love became suffocating, not because of anything she did, but because he didn't know how to receive it. He had been conditioned to expect abandonment, betrayal, and pain. Instead of leaning into the love she gave him, he pushed her away in the most destructive ways. At first, it was small betrayals. He flirted with other women in her presence, stayed out late, and told lies just to see if she would stick around. Then things escalated when she finally had enough and tried to leave. His fear of rejection consumed him. That night, in a fit of rage, he did something he could never take back. He tried to end her life. Almost instantly, regret seized his chest like a vice. But the damage was done. Liana's best friend was there and called the police. Damon was captured, arrested, and sentenced to 7 years in prison. Prison forced Damon to face himself. Locked in a cell with no one to call, he was tormented by what he had done. He despised the man he had become, but he didn't know how to be anything else. For the first time in his life, he had to sit in his pain, his guilt, his brokenness, without numbing it with distractions or anger. He wanted to reach out and apologize to Liana, but he didn't. He couldn't. Instead, he started focusing on addressing and understanding the wounds that led him to hurt the one person who had loved him unconditionally. He attended therapy, read books on healing, and began speaking with other inmates about their own traumas. Slowly, he began to understand that he wasn't just a product of his past. He was a man with the power to change. When Damon was released, he stepped into a world that had moved on without him. He had no job, no family, no one waiting for him. All he had was the hope that maybe, just maybe, he could build a life worth living. At first, rejection followed him everywhere. No one wanted to hire a man with his record. Old ways threatened to creep back in. The anger, the self-loathing, the feeling of worthlessness. But this time, he fought against it. One day, while walking past a community center, he saw a group of young boys sitting on the steps, joking, roughhousing. There was something familiar in their eyes. He recognized the pain behind their laughter. He saw himself in them. Damon had a moment of clarity. He began volunteering, sharing his story with troubled teens, warning them of the paths he once walked. He spoke about love, about pain, about the ways unhealed wounds could turn people into their own worst enemy. Slowly, he built trust with the staff. After some time, the center offered him a job as a counselor. He had found his purpose. He was given a second chance. Years passed. Damon dedicated his life to helping young men break the cycle of pain he had once been trapped in. One evening, after finishing a session, he stepped outside and saw a familiar figure standing across the street. Liana. She looked different, confident, happier. They locked eyes, and for a moment, the weight of the past settled between them. Then she gave him a small nod, a silent acknowledgement of everything they had been through, of the man he had become. He didn't expect forgiveness, nor did he need it. He understood that redemption wasn't about erasing the past. It was about learning from it, about becoming better than the person he used to be. Thanks for watching.
Gotta stay focused. Gotta calm down, gotta relax, gotta control it. Be in my zone.
Be in your zone.
Gotta find a cure, gotta find
a cure.
a way to calm down.
A way to calm down.
Be human again.
Be human again.
Once again, gotta find a way for them to understand. Misunderstood, so misunderstood. My temper is bad, my mission is good. I never be labeled as good. I never be labeled as mentally stable. They all label me as a threat. Shot me off into space, something I'll never forget. Shooting myself with these gamma rays, something I always regret. I done ran away so many times, I don't got nobody left. No friends, no love, just me and these drugs keeping me calm. Keep those comments to yourself before I go bonkers. I get green, I get mean. One man team, have your girl shaking. Then I get extra mad, they call that world breaking. You are not stronger than me, homie, we are not adjacent. I can turn a high-rise building to a low-rise basement. I'm here. You got every right to be scared. Got 3 people in one of my thighs. Got every right to be feared. And I hit harder than snares. Got thunderbolt in my ear. You try to give me the chair, but I keep breaking the chair, and I keep breaking your neck.